There we go. We are live. The mic is definitely on.
We made sure.
Yeah. Although we're not completely without mishaps. I just poked myself in the eye.
How did you do that?
I don't know. I
Literally
don't know.
just sit down and you're having calamities.
I don't know. Self-saboteur. But...
How are we doing, guys? Hope you are all well. As you know, we're off to the Arnolds tomorrow.
Yes,
Cannot wait.
Are.
It's exciting times. The Arnolds is always a big competition.
Yes,
it's just a
deal.
It's a fun one. It's exciting. There's lots going on, and hopefully you guys are all as excited as we are. Are you okay, dear?
No, I don't know what's happened to my eye. I'm fine. Do you know what? I got stupid lashes. That's the problem, and I'm not used to them.
Well, you will do these things.
It's not about me. Let's talk about the Arnolds.
Anyway, how are you guys? I hope you're having a good week. A couple of questions we got coming in very quickly. Dan has asked, where is he? Yeah, Maxime Boudreau is out because he broke his ankle.
That's not a question.
No, that was someone answering the question. Yeah, let's talk about Maxime anyway, because obviously Maxime has announced he's pulled out of the Arnold's and World's Strongest Man, broke his ankle. Just like a freak accident. He'd already done his hard training.
I thought it was a shin bone.
He slipped on ice, yeah.
Yeah.
Gutted for him, really.
Yeah.
Maxime's always done well at World's Strongest Man.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting one because for those that don't know, Kevin Fairs has been the replacement for Maxime. He was always the alternate for the Arnold. So he was training the events on the chance that someone was to pull out.
Yeah, so it's not like a last minute thing. He's known about this for a long time.
But I think it's quite a well-matched replacement
for
an athlete. You know, they're both very good in terms of grip strength and the frame carry. I would say Maxime is a little bit better at the log lift. I'd say Kevin is a little bit better at deadlifting, but there's no huge differences in terms of a replacement for an athlete. To me, it doesn't really change predictions and stuff like that.
I think it changes things.
You do?
I do. I think it's bad for Mateusz.
Really?
Yeah, because Maxime was one of those people that Mateusz almost definitely could be on a deadlift. And
perhaps, but I still think Kevin's not going to get that. Kevin could be below him. He could be a little bit above him.
So if Kevin pushes Mateusz 1 point down on deadlift and Mateusz loses overall by 1 point, then it changed everything.
Maybe, but that's a
big if. I know.
What I'm saying is, it's not like you could take say someone like Graham Hicks came in.
Yeah,
Graham Hicks could potentially win an event like the log lift, for instance, or something like that. Whereas I think Kevin is very similar in ability to Maxime.
Yeah.
You know, just they have slight changes in terms of events. I don't think it changes too much.
No, there could be much more drastic changes, but we wish Maxime all the best because it's a shame. He's a genuinely nice guy as well, isn't he?
He is, yes.
We'll still see him there this weekend because obviously his fiancée, Sam Bellevue, is competing in the women's competition.
Will has said, Uncle Oz, you've been very quiet about Bobby. Dark horse for the win. Bobby has been training very, very hard and he's looking very good. I don't think Bobby will win. Now, people kind of have had a go at me for saying things like this because when you're a coach, you're supposed to. People think you just have to say they're going to win, but I'm not really like that. I try and when I do predictions or when I'm talking about athletes, I try and be completely transparent and honest, and we look at the realistic chance. Now, Bobby has an outside chance of winning, like all the guys do. I'd say Bobby's got a better chance than a lot of the guys. I'd say Bobby could potentially win 2 events. He could win the log. He could win the deadlift. I don't think he will win the other 3 events. And potentially the Wheel of Pain could be an issue for Bobby because he has an ankle issue, which causes him problems. The throw is one of those events that we just really don't know. He's been training it hard, but it's an unknown.
Hard to predict, yeah.
And then when it comes to frame carry, he's not the best at the frame carry in the world. We've been training it hard and he's making progress. I just feel he may drop a few points on that compared to some of the guys that potentially could win the competition. But you know, stranger things have happened. I beat Hafthor at Europe's Strongest Man. You know, you've got to go in as an athlete, focusing on one event at a time. And that's what I tell Andrea. It's what I tell Mitch. It's what I tell Bobby. It's what I tell all my athletes do. You go to a competition and you focus on one event. So Bobby's first event will be the Wheel of Pain, and he will put 100% into that. Once that's done, we move on. And you have no idea how things will play out. It's fun kind of doing the predicting and stuff like that. But obviously I've got that competitive experience as well, where I know not to listen to, all the kind of people predicting and stuff like that. So Bobby's well prepared. He's going in the best shape he's been in, and he'll take it one event at a time, and we'll see what he does. But I'm really pleased with the way he's been working. I think he's feeling confident going into this. And if it starts well, you never know what happens.
You never know. Jake is saying that it's the best Arnold and World's Strongest Man in years, in my opinion. I think we may be stumbling into a new golden era.
We did an interview for the Sun today, didn't we?
The Sun.
Yeah.
And yeah.
One of the questions they asked was like that. And I really feel we're in an era right now. We've always had great athletes, but right now we have the most depth of talent that we've ever seen. We've always had a few really good athletes.
Yeah. Like a lot of people say the Brian Zadrunas era was the strongest, but actually it wasn't. If you look at the list of 30 athletes that would have gone to Worlds in those years, you've got Brian and Zadrunas who really dominated. You've got like 10 other really good athletes, but you'll have people in there you've probably never heard of and never heard of since. Yeah. But we just don't have that anymore. Not this year. This year looks great so far.
Yeah, like every athlete that goes to World's Strongest Man now is a world-class athlete. Whereas I've been in groups at World's Strongest Man where I had a Chinese guy in my group who was walking around World's Strongest Man saying 300 kilo deadlift club. Not that there's anything wrong with a 300 kilo deadlift, but at World's Strongest Man, that's not going to get you very far. So now you just don't see that. Everyone that's at Worlds is a dangerous, dangerous competitor.
Yeah. Oh, look. Thank you so much for the super chat, Fred. Good morning, afternoon, evening. Hope all is well. I leave for the Arnolds in the morning.
We're leaving too in the morning. We will see you there, Fred.
We've got to leave so early. We're leaving here, 4:30 a.m.?
Yeah, 4:30. Nice early start.
Yeah. Fresh as daisies we shall be.
Indeed. Got lots of members in the house.
Yes.
Elizabeth is in.
Andrew,
Paris, Andrew.
Everyone's in. We've got a new member
Funway.
there. Funway. Sounds like something
cool.
Pa would say, doesn't it? Yeah. Let me show you a fun
Monica joined us. She wasn't sure she'd be able to.
I'm here. It's like a question. Oh, yeah. Talking about that. Have you seen the lineup so far for the Shore Classic?
No, I haven't.
Lozzie, you're so out of touch. I knew you wouldn't have, so I have screenshots. So we don't know the 15th athlete yet, but for anyone else who has missed it, let me read it out for you. Oh my goodness, what am I doing? So far the lineup is Brian Shaw, Trey Mitchell, Mitchell Hooper, Alexei Novikov, Maxime Boudreau, Ivor Schmuxlis, Evan Singleton, Tom Stoltman, Luke Stoltman, Bobby Thompson, Pavlo Nekonechny, Adam Bishop, Graham Hicks, Kevin Ferris, and Thomas Evans. 16th athlete waiting to accept invitation, apparently. So I think the hope is that it's going to be Mateusz or Martins. It won't be Martins because he's already said he's not competing at all this year. Yeah. So I'm guessing it's going to be Mateusz. But
maybe it's Thor.
Thor's not going to do a strongman competition this year, is he?
I just try to.
Yeah.
But I saw that Brian announced that it's going to be his last competition as well, which I think we were all expecting.
We were expecting it, weren't we? We said
he announced his retirement from his last Worlds. I was kind of expecting the Shore Classic to be his last competition. So, interesting year for Brian, and he looks like he's very focused. There's no videos going out as such in terms of training. He's just training hard, which is, I think, it's exciting.
Yeah,
I think sometimes as athletes, you focus too much on the YouTube stuff or the social media stuff, whereas, if you want to really put your best efforts in, you just got to focus on winning.
People comparing their journeys tomorrow. Monica's got a 4.5-hour drive. Fred has a 10-hour drive. Fred's very committed. What have we got? 8-hour and 20-minute flight, 2 hours and 40 minutes at JFK, then a 2-hour flight to Columbus. We win. We win this one. Yeah. We're very lucky to have all the giants lives pretty much on our doorstep, aren't we?
Although we'd have to drive almost as far as Fred for the Scottish one.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
If Tom is on form, I think he will win. However, his training is not looking great. Mitch has a great chance if Tom is off his best.
Tom's training in the last few weeks has really picked up. So by all accounts, he did a 195 log for a double this week. Speaking to Dan, he said Tom's really sort of remembered that he's the world's strongest man. So it's interesting. I think we've got so many interesting topics coming into the Arnolds. Mitch is looking great. Although he doesn't listen to his coach when it comes to a deload.
And I saw that 70% single he was supposed to do. He did 195, didn't he?
Yeah, with no belt, no wraps, nothing. But you know, I've said from the start that I believe Mitch has the best chance of winning because I think he has the least weaknesses. But Trey Mitchell is looking amazing in training, but I feel Trey may have a weakness when it comes to the frame walk. Mateus has looked really, really good, but we all know he's coming back from injury, and there is the deadlift for him to consider. So even without the injury, deadlift has always been an issue. And you know, as a fan, I'm hoping he's in great shape. Just as a strongman fan, as a coach, I kind of, you know, don't want him to be in such good shape. But he's my friend, and I want him to do well. And I hope he has come back in shape. But until he competes, remember when we saw him for the first time competing after a break? He was literally shaking before the first event. And if he's got those kind of nerves, who knows what's going to happen? You know, it's not always the best thing to be doing. Tom Stoltman is a big question mark because we all know how great he can be, well prepared at World's Strongest Man. His training hasn't looked the best, but he is a genuine threat. And a lot of people, I've seen a lot of comments about Tom, people saying he's only good at World's Strongest Man. Let's remember he was second at the Rogue Invitational, which features a lot of these similar events. And he was only second to the guy that won the Arnolds last year. So Tom is more than capable of being very, very good at these events if he's in shape. Luke looks really good in his training. Luke Stoltman's looking really good. Like I said, I think Bobby's looking really good. Pavlo Nekonechny keeping a bit more quiet, but we know he's going to be dangerous.
Looking good, Jesus.
Yeah.
His log's looking good as well, to be fair.
And I think he'll be good at the frame as well.
I think he'll be good at the Wheel of Pain.
So who knows what's going to happen? I think there's lots of interesting, you know, topics to look at, and it'll be after that first day we'll see who's in shape and who's not. You never know till they start competing. We can watch all the training videos, we can listen to everything. You don't know if athletes are telling the truth half the time. I've seen this myself. I've literally watched people. As an athlete, I stopped looking at what other people are doing because it can mess with your head. And I tended to just focus on my own prep. But the other athletes have been known to lie about what they do before.
Oh yeah.
You know, everyone's trying to get that mental edge over their opposition. So they're all doing these little things to try and, you know, out-psych the next person. And until that competition starts, that's when it all matters.
Nicholas, thank you so much for becoming a member. Someone here, Roberto, sorry to distract from the Arnolds, but have you guys heard about Physical 100?
Oh man, we love Physical
100. We've really enjoyed watching it, haven't we?
It is brilliant. I mean, the dubbing over the accents is hilarious.
Love some Korean dubbing personally. Yeah, if you haven't seen it in your strength sports or any sort of sports fan, it's just entertaining. It's on Netflix. It's brilliant.
It's brilliant. I would be tempted to try and go on it.
Yeah, I'd be tempted.
You need to get to the gym
just because it looks like so much fun.
Paris said, I had to sneak in Europe's 2016. I just want to point out, Paris, I've beaten Thor more than once.
Yeah, so it's true. But you did only mention that one.
You've got to sneak it in somehow. You know, you've got to let an old man enjoy his moments.
Yes, Wyndham Man beats the mountain. There you go.
I forgot about the Shore, Mateus for the Shore Classic. That'd be great.
Mateus should be. Oh, the Sun. I hope Loz's stats are on page 3. I know. It's the USA Sun.
Well, it was a British guy interviewing us, but
it was. But I guess they run both publications, don't they, from the UK? But we will be in a USA Sun coming soon to you. Yeah. There you go. So that's something exciting for you all to look forward to. Don't think we said anything that could be misquoted.
Probably.
The guy was really nice. Hopefully it comes across okay.
Loz, have you seen King of the Table? Yes, I have. There were some amazing matches happening at King of the Table on the weekend. It was an exciting weekend of sport, to be honest. We even watched the boxing, didn't we? Well, the YouTube boxing, but it was still entertaining.
Oh yeah, loved the boxing over the weekend. You put a bloody bet on, didn't you? Tommy Fury, £100 he put on. I was like, come on, Tommy! Thank God he won.
A little bit worried at the end.
I was getting a bit worried. Any thoughts about the Arnold? I guess you haven't had the time to look at any of that, have you? Oscar, the Polish guy's doing it.
Yeah.
Other good guys doing it
Scott
as well.
Dees is doing it. One of my clients. Nicholas Canby's doing it.
Yes, Nicholas Canby, who is an under 105 world champion.
Be interesting to see how he does. But yeah, I've not looked too much into the amateurs, if I'm totally honest. Focus on my athletes that are competing, but tend to focus more on the women pro show and the men's pro show.
Yeah. Oh, the women's. Oh man, I'm so excited. There's so much happening this year.
We've seen a lot of the athletes are already out there.
Yeah.
Like Andrea was messaging this morning, seeing that Kidishkovsky's eating donuts in New York.
Yes. This made us so happy. I was like, oh look, he's there. He must be happy. He must feel good. He's got his donuts.
Yes. Yeah, it's going to be good.
Pleased to see Faddy got a World's Strongest Man invitation. Yeah, that was
good to see.
Yeah, it's good to see.
He's got his chance now. He needs to step up to the plate. It's going to be good to watch.
No pressure, Faddy, but it's nice to see.
He's actually got, he's got Australia's Strongest Man before that as well.
I know,
so that's going to be interesting
March,
watching that. I'm quite interested to see what happens at Australia's Strongest Man.
Yeah, because what's interesting is
we're in March now.
Yeah, we are in March now, but there was a competition in Iran recently, wasn't there? And some guys came over from Australia for it. But Ramin Farjanad, again, he absolutely demolished it.
The top 8 were all Iranian.
Yeah, the top 8. Oh, wow. But Ramin Farjanad, he needs to go to World's Strongest Man. I truly believe he could just make the final. He'd be totally underestimated. They'll pop him in a group and he would make the final.
They've got some strong boys over there.
Yeah. Boys. What is with the red stars? Don't know, Fred. I saw them as well. Don't know. We haven't done it. It might be a YouTube update. I'm not sure what's happening.
Red stars?
Yeah, there's red stars. People have red stars now, like that shows they're a member.
Oh, there we go.
I don't know. Right, let's.
You can see these red stars.
Yeah, Spencer is now a member. Thank you very much. You see them there?
There we go.
There we go. Oh, look.
Frederick Knapp has a red star and he gifted One Big Laws official membership. Thank you very much, Fred.
Right. Let's get up to date with. I started watching Physical 100 after you talked about it. The dubbing is hilarious. The dubbing is brilliant. It's what makes it so good.
It's the dubbing when they're cheering each other on.
Yeah, it's great. Because it just sounds so
Some
wooden,
brutal events, like I was watching some of them thinking, I'd be good at that. And then I was like, I wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah. His grip's still a weakness for Tom. He has improved on his frame carry massively in the last couple of years. Static grip seems to be more of an issue for him. Standing there with a Hercules hold, for example, but moving with the weight, he's not so bad, is he, Tom? He came about 5th, was he on the frame last year?
I think it seems to be a bit more like the endurance side he struggles with. He doesn't struggle to pick things up. Like he can hold heavy objects. It's just his endurance seems to be a little bit not weak, but just not as good as some guys.
Yeah.
But he doesn't seem to have any issue lifting anything. So.
No. To save me looking at the Strongman archive, what was the other time you beat Thor? I've drawn a blank.
World's Strongest Man 2011. I beat him. I've beaten him at a few other shows as well. But Canada in the Strongman Champions League, I beat him.
Yeah, Warwick or whatever it's called.
Yeah, there's been a few times.
What about the Arnolds when you both did it in 2012? Or no, was he really good?
I can't remember.
I can't remember.
You know what? I can't remember. I'm going to have to check now.
Yeah. Now Loz has to go on the archives.
Yeah, well, it's bad, isn't it? I don't even remember. Like I was looking at the archives the other day because someone was asking a question on how I've done because we were doing the video on like percentage of wins and stuff like that. And I realized I've been on the podium in 30 competitions.
Yeah, it's good, Lazo. It's good. Will the Arnolds be streamed? Yes, it is live streamed for free on the Rogue Fitness YouTube channel. The streams are already set to go. So you just need to set a reminder, sit back and enjoy the show. And you'll have Loz's lovely voice in your head as you watch. Who are you working with, Sean?
Yes.
Yes. It's going to be really good.
And Jerry Pritchett's doing some stuff as well with us.
Yeah, Jerry's going to be joining you guys at the Iron... Is it the Iron Desk they call it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the Iron Desk is a bit more like it's the same desk, but they have like an Iron Desk show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's going to be doing more like reporting around the contest and whatnot.
Yeah, Nick can be doing the Arnold's Open Amateur. Is really interesting. It would be good to see how he can do. We've seen some guys step up to the open weight, like with success. I mean, Graham Hicks used to be an under 105, didn't he?
Yep.
Adam Bishop too, but a lot of them, it's a bit too much.
So struggle normally.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see how he can cope. But he's such a good athlete, isn't he, Nick?
Yeah,
so
he is.
It will be good to see him there. Maybe Tom's playing mind games and just pretending. Who knows?
Maybe, like, until it starts, we just don't know.
Yeah.
Apologies, I'm just looking for something.
No, that's okay. Yeah, Matt Webb is doing the men's open and he's looking good. When will World's Strongest Man be in Europe? Oh, who knows? It would be nice.
Long time. When was the last
2009 is the last time.
Malta.
Malta. It's the last time it was.
That was
in
good
Europe.
in Malta.
Yeah, it'd be great to see it back in Europe. It's been in America. Yeah, sorry. It's been in America every year since.
It's been in America for a while now.
2018, 19, yeah, because it was in Botswana for 2 years, wasn't it? And it was, the Philippines, yeah. We need more great Swedish strongmen, says Erasmus.
Yep.
What are you looking for, Lasse?
My head-to-head was full.
Loz, there you go. Slightly controversial one. Are there any Russian athletes right now who, in normal circumstances, you would think warrants a slot at World's Strongest Man right now?
It's really hard to say because we're not really getting an opportunity to see any of the new Russian athletes. I think like the likes of Shivlakov, who, you know, I love. I think he's probably coming towards the end of his prime. The last few comps he did internationally weren't the best.
He got quite badly hurt, didn't he?
Yeah, but I'm sure there's some real talent in Russia. Russia's always been a nation of great strength athletes. So I'm sure there are some athletes that in the time, you know, we haven't been able to see athletes coming through. There are some fantastic ones about. So, yeah, I would be surprised if there wasn't. They, you know, when you look at strength sports as a whole, Russia are always good.
Yeah. Liz, still waiting on the Loz karaoke video. I will try and hunt it down for you, Fred. Well, I'm going to see you in person. So
okay, I found out my head-to-head with Hafthor.
We've
competed 19 times. He is 13-6 ahead. So I've beaten him 6 times. He's beaten me 13 times.
There you go. Was that what you were doing this whole time?
Yeah. So I can't type into the archive on the phone, unfortunately. So I had to search through all the athletes' names to find.
Oh, terrible. Terrible.
But there you go. 13-6 against Hafthor. I'd take that.
Yeah, that's all right. Sold. Jerry with the road collaboration is really cool. Yeah, Jerry's a cool dude. I think he's going to be joining you guys on the deadlift, isn't he? Talking about.
Yeah, absolutely.
On the desk. Oh, there you go. Look, Nick's already done the work for you.
See, I should have just asked you guys, shouldn't I?
Someone could have done it.
It would have been much quicker if I used the computer as well.
Yeah.
Thank you for looking.
There you go. Scary Cloud, thank you for the super chat. Do we know the payouts of the women's competition? It's not listed online.
Yeah.
I don't know either. No, genuinely don't know. And I've been, because Andrew is so cheeky. She goes, Jan Todd, Liz is my admin person. So just send everything to her. And
Jan has been sending
it. Yeah, she has. Yeah. And I haven't seen it. So no, I don't know, to be honest. Yeah. Jan doesn't, even bother messaging. No, she does copy Andrew in. But Andrew just doesn't knows that I'll answer it for her. Never mind.
Oh, look, someone's watching from Malta.
Oh, there you go. Can we have Rebecca Kibble monitor the comments to stop the vulgarity that comes on the Rogue live stream?
Do you know what? I just wouldn't even look at the live stream.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't look at the comments on the live stream. I would turn it off if I was you.
Yeah, which is a shame because, like, you know, we can have a live stream here with you guys and it'd be really nice and you all enjoy it together.
It's a genuine strongman forum here, but the Rogue live stream starts to attract many people.
One place that might be worth going is to the Strongman Reddit. There'll be a mega thread where there'll be tons of Strongman fans in there, and it will just be a nicer, safer space. So if you want to chat to people, that would be a good place to go. Eloa, sorry to give you more work. Oh, Eloa's going to be there. Yeah. I'm so excited to meet Eloa Fournier. Because me and him have been talking for about 4 or 5 years, and he is the owner of Strongman Archives. So yeah, very excited. And we're meeting Bill, the other guy who also owns it. So yes, there we go. Liz, did you see Mitch's thread on Reddit? I did. It's hilarious. So if you guys haven't seen, Mitch Hooper has come up with this, like without it being anything too extreme that would make him lose sponsors or lose money. The guys were allowed to vote for what Mitch should do on the mic if he wins an event. And I think the most popular, it was the last time I checked, it was that every time Mitch mentions Loz, he should slightly mispronounce his name. So that would be something to listen out for. But there were some really funny suggestions, very creative. There we go.
Mitch is such a joker.
Mitch just needs.
He's a child.
He is a child. He needs to be entertained.
Yeah.
He's naughty. But he's not really, is he? He's not malicious or anything.
He just likes to entertain himself.
Yeah, he does. He needs things to keep him busy. Have you heard anything about Phil Pfister going for the Masters? Heard he's training strongman.
I heard he's doing some training. I've not heard if he's competing or not. But,
how old is Phil?
I don't know.
Someone tell us, how old is Phil? Would he be doing 40s plus or 50s plus?
He's got to be either late 40s. Oh. I'd say he's more late 40s. I don't think he's over 50 yet.
No,
but I might be wrong. I don't know.
Who knows?
I mean, he's probably definitely younger than Felix, which is
everyone's younger than Felix.
Yeah, but it's scary to think, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. Well, he won way back in 2006. Yeah. Will the Strongwoman be live streamed? Yes, they will.
Yep, it's all going to be on the Rogue Fitness channel.
It's all the same
whole
show.
Strongman show will be on there.
Yeah.
We'll basically be doing like a men's event, a women's event, a men's event, women's event. So they're all doing the same events. So it'll be women's Wheel of Pain first,
men's Wheel of Pain, women's log, men's log.
Yeah,
that's day one.
Women's deadlift, men's deadlift. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's good, and I think that's the best way to do it. Because I know in terms of following a score, it's nice to see just the women or just the men, but they need the rest time. We saw a wuss Dubai when they managed to get through. I've never seen athletes dying so much because a show ran so quickly.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
And, we do have quick shows. Giants Live run in about 4 hours, don't they? And that is quite fast paced. But
this is not so bad. It's 2 events the first day, 3 events the second day.
Yeah, so they get a decent rest between events, don't they? Strongman women in the same venue as the men.
Yes.
Men finish it. Yeah,
all in the
women
same
go
area.
and the men. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's all together. So it is, because before I know like people are like, oh, it's being streamed now, but it's a totally different competition. The way the Arnold see it is this is the first year that this comp has happened, the Arnold Strongwoman Classic. They've never put it on before. Obviously, though, Strongman Corporation did do their pro women's show, but that no longer exists.
Yeah.
So yes. What are we looking at? Monica, don't be too harsh on Maggie. We'll all be keeping a close eye on Maggie.
I've got a special zoom on the monitor. That
Have you?
I'll be zooming in on him. Tell him I'll be watching.
Very closely.
Poor Maggie. We love Maggie.
We love Maggie. We do. We do feel bad because, like people say, no one credits good refereeing most of the time anyway. What have we got here? Matt Randalls. Thank you for the super chat. Hi, Loz.
Thank you, Matt.
Quite a roster you're developing. Are you currently the coach with the most high level athletes? Level your work, keep up.
I don't know if I don't know about the most. I've got 3 athletes in the pros at the Arnolds, with Andrew in the women and then 2 in the men.
Yeah.
And I've got 3 athletes competing at Worlds.
Yeah.
I think
maybe the most.
I don't know. I know there's a few nutritionists that have quite a few high level athletes.
Yeah.
Nathan Payton's probably got the most. I think he's got 5 at the Arnolds and 6 perhaps at Worlds.
Yes, Reddit's not without its problems, but you can downvote people and hide them, and also there will be moderators on there. So unlike the rogue chat, unfortunately. Look who's here! It's our friend Rongo. Hello, my amazing friends. Hope you're both well and safe travels on your journey tomorrow.
Thank you, buddy. Hope you're doing well.
Thanks, Rongo.
He's getting closer and closer to being able to go to America and Worlds. So getting that would be amazing to see him get an opportunity.
Yes,
World's Strongest Man.
It's just a bit of a process, but Rongo is absolutely smashing it. If you aren't
following Rongo, guys, make sure you go and follow him. He is an amazing strongman, but super funny as well.
And a lovely man. Rongo's coming to the UK a couple of times this year, so we're really looking forward to getting the families together.
Yeah,
can't wait to meet his kids. They're going to be like mini Rongo. The chat during the competitions is rough. It is. It's awful. It just brings out the worst people. Where are these people usually?
Hid behind.
Where do they come from? I just don't understand it.
When you get people like that, they're not genuine fans. You know, we'll criticize if we feel things need criticizing, but they're just saying stuff to get
they're just offensive most of the time.
They're not putting any kind of suggestions to make things better.
No, it's genuine trolling. Like I've seen it before where they're like, oh, so and so just died, and it's horrible.
It's normally just young kids that are just idiots or just idiots.
Yeah.
That's probably the best way of putting it.
Yeah.
You'd like to think they're young idiots, but they're not always.
Yeah. Oh, look, Julian. Poor sweet Julian. I logged onto the Rogue Live chat thinking it would be like here. How wrong was I? It is awful.
We will try and do some lives while we're out there. Like, obviously not during the day, but maybe in the evening we'll try and do a couple of lives.
We will. I'm packing all the kit, so fingers crossed. Before, when we haven't packed the kit, we've been like, move that lamp. But I've got a proper pop-up light and bringing the tripod and everything, so we should be okay. All right, what have we got here? John, thank you for the super chat. Loz, what are your World's Strongest Man event wins / top 2 stats?
I think you said I was like 28th or something, wasn't I?
Yeah,
I can't remember what my stats were.
Yeah, you're about 28th place. Yeah.
I haven't won that many events at Worlds. I've won the squat 5 times.
I think you've won 8 events at Worlds.
Okay, there we go.
8 or 13.
Okay.
I can't remember.
Not enough to be in the top 10 this time.
I think it's 13. Someone have a look. Where are we? Phil is 51. There you go. Phil Fist is 51.
You can do the over 50s.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you know what? He'd be good as well.
He would be bloody good, yeah.
Phil was always a great strongman.
Yeah.
He wasn't particularly statically strong, and I think he'd struggle with like the likes of how strong the guys are now. But you give Phil awkward events. Yeah, he was very, very good.
And OSG, World's Strongest Masters, it always has a good mix of events, doesn't it? Of, you know, moving and
it's not that heavy. I mean, the over 50s really isn't that heavy at all. So
what's the weight of the women's frame? I think it's 260? 240.
I think they haven't confirmed a weight yet. I think they said it's going to be between 235 and 250, but they haven't confirmed. They gave
a range, yeah.
There'll be an athletes meeting tomorrow where they finalize everything.
Yeah, so they've got what the athletes will be going through over the next couple of days. They'll have their media interviews. They'll be able to go down as a group and check out all the equipment and touch everything. So a bit of familiarization. And then they'll have the proper athletes meeting as well, where they get the chance to ask questions. And it will, then it will all be kicking off. I can't wait. Oh, late to the party, but Mitch's raw 195 log, very impressive. You were less impressed, weren't you, Les?
I was impressed. I was just like, okay.
Yeah, what are you doing?
He justified it by not wearing a belt or straps or anything like that. He's a strong dude. What can you say?
Yeah.
You know, as long as it doesn't affect him, then we'll be fine.
The Strongwoman's comp is super exciting, but I think less so than the men's this time since Victoria Long is so dominant. But we were saying this is easily the best lineup we've ever seen in a single Strongwoman competition. I think Victoria will be incredible because she is, but I'm not convinced she'll be as dominant in this lineup.
If you look at like last year's Arnold's, for instance, Andrea won 3 events. Or 2.
Andrea won the Viking press, the deadlift.
She should have won the yoke, but she walked between 2 of the implements, and I told her off about that.
Yeah.
And then you've got some other...
Hannah Lindsay won the stone.
Yeah. So there's athletes that can take points off her.
Yeah. It would be interesting to see, because who knows?
Nothing's guaranteed. Like, again, like when I do a prediction or you kind of look at athletes, you have to put Victoria as the number 1, but that doesn't mean she's not beatable.
No.
You know, and it just takes a little mistake. It takes pressure from the other athletes. If they can kind of constantly keep her, you know, feeling that pressure, then athletes can make mistakes. And we see it all the time in the men's and the women's and all sports. So, yeah, she's the favorite, but it's not a guarantee.
Yeah. Yes, Rick. Last week on the members live stream, someone was saying that Liz never answers on Facebook or Instagram, but I have to defend her in this. She does answer. I answered Rick. And he's like, Liz, you do answer. And I was like, sometimes. Yeah, I do. And I was like, please tell everyone. Thank you, Rick.
There you go. Rebecca Roberts will be motivated.
Rebecca Roberts. I can't wait to see her compete there, because
her trainings look really good.
Yeah, she knew she was the alternate from the start. She's been training like she was competing this whole time. And she's looking in good shape, like,
she's looking strong,
and she's a woman on a mission. Obviously, you'll all know, but Rebecca, before Christmas last year, she lost her partner and coach, Paul Savage, who she'd been with for 7 years. It was literally the week after the guys won the team competition, so it was horrible, wasn't it? So she's she's definitely going to be one to watch at the weekend.
Rick is going to be down with Olga this weekend.
Excellent.
Hope you enjoy the weekend, Rick. And Olga's looking great as well. She's the world's strongest woman. She's unbelievable.
I love seeing Olga. She's such a sweetheart, isn't she?
Yeah.
Stops hard. Yeah, when YouTube saves live stream, the video stops hard at 12 hours. The day 2 stream could start on an hour before the deadlift. And if the day runs over, you might not be able to. Yeah, that's true. They had that issue before. I think it must have been at the Rogue Invitational, because
I will bring that up in I've got a meeting tomorrow with the production team, so I'll bring it up with them.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure they are aware of it after the Rogue, to be honest. So
yeah,
hopefully it's something they have.
They're not planning on too much dead time to make sure that we get as much actual content as possible. What are you laughing at?
Rauno. I just need to respond like Rauno does. I think he's proud of me for just calling them idiots.
Who were you calling idiots?
The people on chats that kind of are offensive.
Loz, learn my language. Do you know what? The longer we spend with hi Rauno, and the longer we spend with him, the more sweary we become, the more offensive we become. Even Lewis. That was so funny. We were in this little cafe and we'd ordered some drinks, and the woman was like, Lewis is autistic, he's very impressionable, and sometimes he's a little bit blunt, and like we're reciting back the drinks the woman is, and she missed off Lewis's drink, and Lewis went, what about my drink? And I was like, Lewis, don't forget your manners. And Rauno was like, no, this is good, he should be strong like this.
He tells you off though, because you apologize all the time.
Yeah, if like it's just a British thing, and Rauno can't accept
thing.
it. It is. We apologise for everything. If I like slightly get in your way, oh sorry. He's like, why are you fucking sorry?
You get embarrassed with me because like if people try and stop me on the street like to sell me stuff, or they come to the door, I'm really blunt with them. You just can't cope with it, can you?
No, I'm just like, oh god.
Liz isn't actually allowed to answer our front door anymore.
Unless I know it's one of my delivery people, but I know them all by names. I'm like, Teresa. And they know me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get me answering the door. So what do you want? Bugger off.
Not as bad as Rauno though. Do you remember when we were in Dubai and he starts shouting at this driver? He's like, what the fuck you mean? Because I can't remember what it was about. And I was like, Rauno, why are you so angry? He's like, oh, he was happy to take my money, but he's not happy to drive up here to pick me up. I was like, oh dear.
Oh dear.
But yeah. Hi, Rauno. Sat next to Loz at the Salt Lick barbecue joint at the Rogue Invitational, but was too nervous to say hello. Don't be scared of Loz.
I'm only mean and nasty when people knock on my door.
Yeah.
Trying to sell me stuff that I don't want.
Yeah, indeed. But to be fair, I got rid of some guys the other day.
You did. I was impressed.
They were like, oh, I can see you've got a new front door, but would you like a conservatory? I was like, no. I just said no. Very proud.
I had to chuck 2 guys out of my house when I was with my ex.
Yeah, I remember you saying.
I came home and these like guys basically forced their way into the house. Like not physically, but they can be intimidating towards women. And I got in and I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Chuck them out. Yeah.
Realistically, do you think Mateusz will ever win World's Strongest Man, considering the high standard of the sport right now and his weak deadlift?
His weak deadlift isn't as weak as people make out. Like if you look at the best athletes' performances on the deadlift at the Arnold's this weekend, he's actually got the 5th best
biggest
lift. He's pulled 420 kilos on a standard bar in a competition. He's pulled 402 on the elephant bar. Now, although that's not as good as some of the guys, it's still not terrible. The problem is he has dropped points on it, but at his best, he is so good at some of the other events that he can make up for it. He's been second to Thor at Worlds and the Arnolds. And I still say Thor at his best is better than any other athlete right now. So yes, he can win. The big question with Mateusz is, can he come back from those injuries more than just the deadlift? If he can't get back to his best, then no, I don't believe he can win. But if he can come back and is as good as he was, then he is without question a threat.
Yeah.
I think he just needs a bit of confidence. You know, the one worry for me is that he's coming in straight to the Arnolds. And if something doesn't go right on that first event, or he feels a bit of a niggle or something like that, it could mentally get on top of him. Yeah. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope he comes back and he's
a wheel
awesome.
Of pain, but it's like his training's looking so good. That frame carry that he did, and he was just stood there holding it at the end. I was like, promise. Grip is not going to be an issue. He'll be fine. We have faith. What's going on with Annabelle Chapman? I remember she won WUS, but I haven't heard anything about her since.
Yeah.
She's been competing. Like, she's had a couple of injuries, but she come in the top 10 at Worlds at OSG?
Not this. She wasn't there this year, was she?
She was there, but she had an injury.
Oh, right. She wasn't in the top 10, no. Not this year. She was the year before.
I'm pretty certain she was there. Yeah, I can't remember. But she is still competing. It's just she has had a couple of injuries recently. What's the prize money for the Arnold's men top 3? I think, is that on the website? I think
it's 75 or 80 perhaps.
It's something like that, $1,000, yeah.
I haven't looked at the prize money, if I'm honest, because I'm not competing for it.
Oh, no. There you go. There we go. Levi also gets a reply from me.
There you go.
There you go.
How you doing, Levi?
I'm trying to finish my work. Do we know who number 15 is at the Shore Classic? We don't. We've been speculating, Nicola. We think probably Mateusz, but I think he wouldn't.
There's a lot still to happen before then.
I was going to say, I don't think he'll want to commit to anything until after Worlds.
I wouldn't be surprised to see the athlete list change. That's just standard in Strongman these days.
Yeah.
And because we're still a fair way out from the Shore Classic, I wouldn't get too... I still think the world's lineup will change, unfortunately. It's just the nature of the beast, where you think we've got the Arnolds to go through, we've got Europes to get through, people get injured in training. So if you haven't been invited to those big shows, doesn't mean you shouldn't be training for them still. Chances that Pavlo breaks the record on the elephant bar.
It's not going to happen, I don't think.
I hope Rauno's still watching. And if you're watching, Rauno, back me up on this, because Rauno's actually used the elephant bar before. I think the fact that the Wheel of Pain is the first event is going to take a lot out of the athlete's leg power. And I think the numbers on the log and the deadlift will be less than people expect. I don't expect to see any record on the elephant bar. And I don't expect to see as many reps as some people are claiming they're going to do on the log as well. If you look at last year's log lift for Max, I believe only 3 of them went above the weight that is the heavy log.
Went over 195. Yeah, I can't remember, to be honest. I was so traumatized after seeing what happened to JF that I went and got lunch with Andrew instead. I know traumatized people don't usually go and feel their faces, but
that's how you
I was comfort eating. Yeah.
Here you go. So last year on the Austrian Oak for Max, Luke Stoltman won with 213 kilos. Trey Mitchell was second with 209. Bobby Thompson was third with 204. And then Rob Kearney, Tom Stoltman, and Maxime all did 191. So it'd be interesting to see how people do. But I really think that Wheel of Pain takes it out of that leg power. And if you're someone that relies quite a lot on leg power, I think the strongest shouldered guys there are probably Luke and Bobby. Maybe Trey as well.
Trey as well, definitely Trey as well.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Has the venue for World Strongest Man? Yes, it has. It's been on their posts. Pavilion something, I don't know. It's where the fun fair is, the Ferris wheel and everything. It's like right on the beach. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but if you scroll back through some of the World Strongest Man posts, it should be on there because that's where I learned it from. What have we got? Time to get here.
What are you reading?
No, I don't know. I try and read things in my head now before reading them out because I've I've had some issues before in the past, haven't I?
You
have. Here we go. So this is a members chat from How. Brian announced the Shore Classic as his final competition. What are your thoughts?
Pretty much what we expected. Once Brian had announced that this would be his last Worlds, I was expecting the Shore Classic to be his last competition. You kind of
either this year or next year, but
I thought it'd be this year, to be quite honest.
We knew he'd retire at the Shore Classic because it makes sense to retire at your own competition in terms of publicity and all that sort of stuff. And you can't stay like that and train like that for one comp a year, can you?
Yeah.
So we saw it coming. But,
I think he's committed to this year, trying to put 100% into it, and I think then it makes sense if you do it this year.
Yeah. Any predictions for Luke for Worlds or the Arnolds? It's a hard one to predict with Luke.
I think Luke's looking really good in training.
Luke does look good. It's just I don't feel like this is the best set of events for him. Maybe not as good as last year. But then again, last year he came last on the squat and still placed third, joint third overall. So
I think
who knows?
the log is obviously brilliant for him.
Yeah.
Last year there was
Deadlift
2
is
overheads.
not great for him.
Yeah, deadlift will be weaker. His grip is the only saving grace for a lot of the guys that don't have incredible grip is half the athletes don't have incredible grip.
Yeah. Yeah, but when it's so close though, do you know what I mean? And they're all getting up about halfway.
I think it could be that 5 or 6 guys could all be within a really close distance of each other that don't finish, and it's just about who's managed to kind of get it the furthest.
Yeah.
But Luke, he was 3rd at the Arnolds last year. If he puts in a performance, he's going to be dangerous.
What's Rauno saying? He has good opportunity. It's 2-day first event, but I think he not try.
I'm guessing he's talking about Pavlo going for the record.
Oh, yes. Yes,
that's
true. Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't think we're going to see a record on the deadlift. Knowing that you've got the Deadlift World Championships later in the year where you can solely focus on that, I think knowing that it's a big competition, the Arnolds, you want to focus on the whole show. You've got World's Strongest Man coming up. I don't think we're going to see deadlift records.
No, not like he's not going to need to do it. So yeah. I don't see why he would do it.
And I genuinely think that the Wheel of Pain is going to take a lot out of him as well.
Yeah. If you were offered the chance to train one non-client for a year, who would you choose? Iron Bibi, Mateusz? Who would you choose?
I get asked this question quite a lot, and I don't really think about it. I mean, I've said before it'd be cool to train Iron Bibi just because the crazy potential that's there. Mateusz doesn't need me training him. The guy is one of the best strongmen out there. I think he just needs more mental help than anything.
Mental help?
No. Like,
I know you don't mean that the way it sounds.
It's just like the mental strength is where he's kind of weaker.
I know.
You know, he's an amazing athlete, and other than reassuring him that he's really good, and probably the only thing I would suggest with Mateusz is that he learns to hinge more through his deadlift. I think what he tries to do with a mistake with his deadlift is he tried to copy guys like Eddie and Brian Shaw and squat the weight up, but that's not a naturally good way for him to deadlift. He needs to focus more on a narrow stance, a bit like Bish type positioning, narrow stance, more glutes and hamstrings. I think it's a more effective way for him to lift, but Mateusz is an amazing athlete. He doesn't need any help from me.
Where are we? Look for MP of Inverness.
It might well happen one day.
Oh my gosh, you read my question. Hurrah. See, I respond to people. I read your questions. How is Luke Richardson doing? I saw him training the other day, some videos, doing some pushing. It's rehab
he's
though,
rehabbing at the
it?
moment from injury. Hopefully he's doing okay. I've not seen too much of what he's doing, but unfortunately he's pulled out of comps now due to injury.
He's had some horrible luck, hasn't he?
It's an interesting question by Jamie.
You can read that while I pop to the loo. Read it out.
Is it weird when you coach people who are better than you were at certain events? I imagine as a former top athlete, you're used to having a peak performance better than your clients. It's not really. It's funny. I don't ever, when I coach people, I never really care about the standard. And when I say that, it's not that I don't care. Obviously, it's great when people are good, but my sole focus is trying to get people better. So it becomes weird when you coach. You're not impressed by anything. And you're not like unimpressed. You're just solely looking on ways to improve. So it doesn't matter if someone's weaker or stronger than me. The goal is to make them better. And that's all I'm kind of looking at when I have people send me videos. I'm looking at ways that I think we can improve that person. There's certain events that it's very rare that some of my clients are better than me on some movements, but then there's other movements that I've got a few guys that are better than I am. But I still feel with the amount of experience that I have, having competed for so many years, having worked with so many promoters, having competed in so many different types of competitions, even if they're more gifted athletes, there's a lot that I know that can kind of be passed on to help them because I would have liked that same information myself when I was kind of on the way up. So no, I don't ever find it weird when an athlete's better than me at something. It's just all about trying to look at ways that we can get things better. And you'll see with many, many coaches, the athletes are better than the coaches. It's no longer about what I did and what I can do. That was great. And I loved that. I had the time to be an athlete, but now it's about the athletes being as good as possible. And I'm not as good as I used to be anyway. So there's a fair few guys that I train and a couple of girls that can almost beat me on a few things now as well. So it's I'm getting used to not being the strongest.
Wade Pavlo is also doing Europe's. Yeah, I think he's the only guy who's doing all three, Arnold, Europe's and World's Strongest Man. So
yeah,
he's young, he can recover quite quickly, can't he?
Yeah.
You're right. Want to see what he can do. Where are we? Lock up Mateusz, all us Polish are crazy.
The Polish are crazy. We've drank with the Polish before. You Polish are pretty crazy at times.
Don't try and keep it. Jesus Christ. Bonchut, thank you for the super chat. Mateusz has a new deadlift coach who said he wasn't using his lats or legs. He says it's better now. We'll see. Rauno was over there training with him and Ivers a couple of weeks back. So, yes, it's all very exciting. Loz is going to get attacked by Mateusz, Oscar, Adam, and David this weekend. Oh, there you go. Something to look forward to. Right, where are we? Yes, this is popping up all the time, but yes, it's free to watch. It's already up on. Well, the stream is set on the Rogue Invitational. No, the Rogue Fitness YouTube channel. Sorry. Where are we? Do you think that there must be Atlas stones in every World's Strongest Man? Absolutely not.
No. I don't feel there has to be Atlas stones in every World's Strongest Man.
It was like 8 years in that they first had a stone run at Worlds. Like
and then it was only sporadically for a long time.
Yeah, the McGlashan stones. And it wasn't at the end. They often ended on something like the tug of war in the beginning, but then like loading races and stuff like that. It's just slowly crept in. It was like it's tradition, but it's not. When
Magnus Samuelsson won in 2008, they finished with a loading race.
Yeah, exactly. That was normal up until we did a video about it.
Christine says Luke always looks good.
Luke's looking big right now, isn't he?
They're both looking big.
Yeah. Where are we? Ooh. As a spectator, I love the random, unpredictable events in strongman shows. What are your opinions on being more of these? Are they fair? Is adapting important strongman quality? I think, I don't think we want to see standardized equipment all the time, do we?
I don't know. It's something I've thought quite long and hard about. I think if we standardize everything, it makes it almost a bit boring. And then we don't have the opportunity to use locations and reasons to have different things. You know, one thing that's great about the Arnolds is we've got the Austrian oak, which is a unique log that's only used at that competition. You could you look at like World's Strongest Man, where they try and implement something from the local surroundings into events. If it's all standardized, it almost just looks the same every single time. So I kind of like that athletes have to be adaptable and try new things. And I've seen a lot of guys like training for the deadlift, for instance, for the elephant bar. And quite honestly, a lot of them are using bars that are way too whippy. The elephant bar doesn't flex as much as people think. It's more like a standard deadlift bar than a really long whippy bar because the bar is thicker.
And also the weights aren't right at the end of the bar either, are they?
So it's not as flexible as, say, the Hummer tire deadlift. That's a much more flexible bar than the elephant bar. But yeah, I've got a philosophy of just get strong and then you can adapt to everything. I think sometimes I've seen videos where people are just making things they're making things easier to be impressive on social media. But when it comes to competition, that's when we see how people will do.
There you go. Super Rick Rock, thank you for the super chat. This competition, in my opinion, is the hardest to predict. And my winnings and placings, I've given up on it. I'm just going to predict as the events go. Afterwards, I'm going to share, because I did event by event scoring because I found it so hard just to choose names. So I was like, right, what's a realistic scenario for each event based off no injuries, etc. Because that was the only way I could do it. I couldn't just choose.
Well, it's a good way to do it.
It was the only. So yeah, I'm going to show you guys afterwards.
A lot of people realize that I didn't actually make a prediction.
No, you didn't. You just agreed with me.
I agreed with you.
It's the first time.
But yeah, I purposely didn't do predictions. So
is that because you got two people in it?
So, no, like I said before, I don't mind doing predictions, but I just thought we'd let Liz do this one.
Yeah.
I have my opinions, but like honestly, there could be so many surprises. I think it's going to be a genuinely great competition. That's what I'm expecting.
Why are you, Liz, pronouncing unspunnen so strange? Isn't it just unspun plus N? Apparently, no, it's not. It's unspunnen. It's Swiss. Is it not Swiss?
Yes.
It's Swiss. And Jan Todd was on the phone and she was like, it's unspunnen, Liz. When I was saying unspunnen. So unspun stone. Yeah, apparently it's unspunnen. You guys have to say it on commentary.
Yeah,
so good luck.
Fun.
Yeah, you need to. We did listen to some of the Swiss televised things to hear them say it, didn't we? And it is unspunnen, apparently. I say it weird because I am weird. Liz can't see your name. Nicola's so good. She keeps everyone on track. There we go. Mitch also has the personality and puts effort into putting out content all the time. There you go. Right, we're quite up to date. We're about an hour in. I think we need to call it a night, Leslie, because we are leaving the house in 6 hours and I've still got stuff to do.
Like we said, we'll do some lives probably in the evening.
Yes,
when we're out in the States, but
we'll get you guys as much content as possible.
It's gonna be a fun weekend of strongman action.
I can't wait.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yes.
Hope you guys are too. And Auntie Liz will keep you all updated. Tune in to the Rogue Fitness channel. Obviously, the times and schedules are already up. So tune into that. It's going to have the women's first and then the men's. So it'll be women's event, men's event, women's event, men's event.
Look who was here all along.
Giants Live. How are you guys doing?
There you go. Looking forward to
lots of shows to look forward to with them as well this year.
Yes.
We will speak to you guys soon. Have a great week.
Look forward to seeing some of you there as well. Don't be shy. Come over and say hi. Not when he's mid-commentary, but, if you see me, you're welcome to. Fred, I promise I'll have a picture. And I'll show you that video of Loz doing karaoke as well.
Take care, guys. We'll speak to you soon.
Bye, guys. Smile and wave.